Kokoni Sota has released their 3D printer on Kickstarter. It's live now, so I thought, now's as good a time as any to update my thoughts and opinions on this 3D printer and its campaign. So let's jump over and take a look at the campaign real fast. Here it is, up and going on Kickstarter. Now, the first thing that you might notice is that it started with a $50,000 goal, and it has already exceeded that by 7, almost 8 times as much. No, are we heading towards 10? We are heading towards 10 times as much. We are over 9 times exceeded their goal. So regardless of anything that I say in this video, they're doing just fine, and Kokoni is now on the line to deliver on their promises. So let's review what I said in the previous video. In the previous video, I took a look at their promotional video, which is this exact video. And I said that this promotional video does not demonstrate what this 3D printer can actually do. There are no actual demonstrations of this 3D printer running in this video. These are prints made on other machines. These prints are made with other technologies in some case, and they are made, that's not an FDM print. They are made to demonstrate what it feels like to have the 3D printer, not necessarily what the 3D printer is capable of. They also show off an AI modeling here where she uses her phone to scan a toy, and that feature was not and is not yet available for people to actually try and use. Here's a good demonstration. If I pause this at the right second, take a look at that 3D print right there. Okay, do you see anything wrong with this 3D print right here? Because I do. If you turned this upside down and tried to 3D print this on a normal, even a resin 3D printer, what is supporting that chin right there? That is a doctored 3D print-ish looking thing. The idea is to look good on screen, but that is not a real 3D print at all. Never mind the fact that without any post-processing or effort, now it's full color. Again, this is a marketing video, so we cannot judge it as being a real example of what this 3D printer can do. Now, jumping back real fast. Then I looked at their app, because you can go download their app right now and see what's possible in it. And there it is. It's running on my phone right here. So I take this app and scroll through it, and there's a bunch of models that you can check out. But I noticed that previously all of these models were accredited to Kokoni 3D, when some of them I recognized as not being from Kokoni. For instance, this is Dutch Mogul's Dwarf Guardian. So if I click on that, you will notice that they have updated their app to show that the original creator was Dutch Mogul. So they are now giving attribution to the model creators. Now, little addendum. They did have this information in here before. Down at the bottom with disclaimer and copyright, if I click that, inside this absolute wall of legalese vomit, there was the original creator's information and a link to where they downloaded it, I think. I'm not going to search through that and try and find that. But they have now put that on the front. Kind of. I mean, if I click on Dutch Mogul, nothing happens. It doesn't take me to his page. It doesn't take me to where they got this model. I can't discover more models by Dutch Mogul. But they are, at the very least, attributing the work to the person who did it. So I want to give props to Kokoni for trying to be a good player in the space, and I appreciate that. I do wish that they would spend a little bit more time and make it a little bit easier to find more models. If I want to print one, maybe I want to print the whole set, but they're trying, and I appreciate that. But just like before, and I'm not going to go much into it, if you go into Create, we have the 3D model, 3D avatar modeling. It will make a head shape based around your head's shape. Kind of, sort of, not really, and it looks funny, and it doesn't do beards or glasses or any of those small details. Although, strangely enough, it seems to pick up the details of a shirt. I don't know what's going on there. But, you know, in my other channel, Blender for 3D Printing, I do demonstrate a time where I take a low poly model and I use the texture detail of that low poly model to add more detail to the 3D model and then printed it out. So, I mean, they could do that, but they're not. So there we go. And then down here, if we go to object modeling, this is where the 3D scanning goes in, and theoretically, if I push the button in the middle, I could upload up to 20 or 25 or more pictures. That doesn't work. So, okay, the 3D modeling is not done. It's not there yet. Let's see what else they're promising and see if we can find other examples of it working or not. Unfortunately, they give us this nice little infographic that gives us 9 points that they're looking to do. They're promising that it'll go 10 times faster. They're promising 7-color printing. They're promising 21 meters per second acceleration. Quick aside about that. That means that in the first second, if you let it run for a whole second, it can get up to 21 meters per second speed. And if you let it go for another second, it can theoretically get up to 42 meters per second. And in the next second, it can get up to 63. But this 3D printer is 20 centimeters across. So it is not going to, go 21 meters. We're talking microsecond differences. But if it can accelerate quickly and decelerate quickly, then it can do high details, good corners at high speeds. All right, inverted design. We can see that it does have an inverted design, just like I think it's the Polaris 3D printer, which came before it. We know that this technology can work, that it does work. But, anyways, they're promising inverted design. They're obviously delivering on that. Low vibration, 0.1 millimeter accurate detail. Okay. Silent 3D printing, smart app control. We've seen that it has a smart app control. AI modeling, it doesn't. But if we look through their entire campaign here, some of these things, we can't find any actual examples of them working. However, if you go over to their YouTube page, which you can actually find one of the videos on the Kickstarter, we'll link you to YouTube, and then you can find their YouTube page. They have lots of videos here where they are showing the 3D printer actually working. Here's a fascinating video of them printing a bridge test upside down, which I think is fascinating. It is sped up a little bit, but that's fine. I dig it, love it. They have another one where they show the printer, they try and demonstrate how fast the printer can go. And, first layers, you always want to go a little bit slower on. But once you get up, hey, look at it now going nice and fast. That's some pretty good speed. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty good. They have a 3D benchy. Now, this video is very interesting because after the calibration, they speed it up, but they do have another version where you can watch this benchy being printed in real time. It's a 20-minute video, and you can watch a benchy being printed in 20 minutes. So they're demonstrating that they can do the 20-minute benchy. And then this video right here kind of cracks me up. They took the 3D printer to a place, set it in front of people, and asked them for their first impressions. They didn't get to use it. They might have seen it printing, but no hands-on. What do you think of this machine? Okay, so they've got the printer and they've got it in front of real people. So that's pretty cool. So there are examples of this printer running. So now let's go back and let's start checking off some of these promises. 10 times faster printing. I'm going to say that it's printing fast. Is it printing 10 times faster than, be charitable and say, an Ender 3? That's hard to say because, like I said with acceleration, it's not going to get up to its full speed unless you have a very big and flat 3D print. And so how much of a gain do you get from this one? But I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to say that it is fast printing, whether it's 10 times faster or just faster. It is faster. And I'm going to stretch that one and say, okay, fine. Acceleration, I'm also going to say, fine. Maybe you could do that. And that's fine. Inverted design, obviously they've got that. Low vibration, they actually have a video on here where they take a glass of water and stick it on top while it's printing, and you don't get the Jurassic Park, footprint stuff. So there we go. 0.1 millimeter accurate detail. I'm going to let them have that one for now. Okay. Silent printing, they have videos showing that it's quiet. Smart app control, obviously they've got that. But there are two that they have not yet that I have seen demonstrated whatsoever. The AI modeling and the 7-color 3D printing. Now, the 7-color 3D printing is the one that I really, really feel like they need to demonstrate this happening. But this gets even more interesting when you look at the rewards that you can pledge for right now. So let's go through their rewards. The first one is an early bird special on their 3D printer. If you pledge right now, you can get their 3D printer for about $450 US, when the MSRP for it is going to be $750. Ooh, 40% off. That's a fantastic price. For that, you get a basic 3D printer with no cover on it. You get the naked Kokoni Sota. Well, I want the cover. It's nice and pretty, and it keeps my kids' fingers out of the 3D printer. Okay, fine. For that one, you're going to have to pay $600 US, but the MSRP on that is going to be $1,000. That is a heck of a price jump for just a cover on the dang thing. There's got to be more going on there, but okay, $1,000 for the covered one. Then, what if you want the multicolor printing? Well, that is going to cost you $800 right now for an MSRP of $1,300. That puts it right in the price range of the Bamboo Labs, but without the AMS. So it's cheaper, but it's also smaller. But here's the thing. This filament tower expands 5 color filament capabilities, not 7. So they're promising 7, but you can right now back them for 5. Maybe one of the other Kickstarters do it. Let's see, you can get a Kokoni Sota plus their old 3D printer. Okay, I don't know why you'd want that, but there you go. You can get the Kokoni Sota plus their old 3D printer plus the 5 color filament printing. Where's the 7? You can get 2 Kokoni Sotas and 1 5-color tower, or you can get, again, another 5-color tower. So all I'm seeing on here are 5-color towers. I'm not seeing 7 colors being promised anywhere on here whatsoever. You can order 10 of them, but so far, not only have I yet to see any demonstration of their multicolor 3D printing actually working, you can only back for 5 colors despite them promising 7 colors. And I hate to raise a red flag, but that's a red flag. Promise, reality, and they haven't even demonstrated that it's possible. Here's the thing, though. My last video was about honesty in 3D printing companies, and I wanted to follow that up with here's how you can tell that you're being lied to by a 3D printer company. And the problem with that video is that to those who have not done 3D printing, 3D printing is already a pretty magical proposition. It shouldn't work, and yet here are these people doing amazing things with it every day. Even more than that, the Bamboo Labs AMS, the Bamboo Labs and its AMS system promised us faster 3D printing than we had ever seen before, and to make multicolored 3D printing easy. And yet it delivered on those promises. But Bamboo Labs did something very interesting. They took their system and they put it in the hands of reviewers even before the Kickstarter was out. So there was no question that they were actually delivering on what they were promising. They didn't make any promises that they didn't already know that they could deliver on. And yes, it was a little bit rough. And yes, there were some kinks to work out. But they proved that the technology worked and was viable. With Kokoni so far, there are at least 2 examples of them making promises that they either haven't tested or just can't deliver on. We don't know that they're going to deliver on it, and they haven't put any units in the hands of reviewers yet. Now, they have contacted me and said, hey, we want to put one in your hands. And despite the fact that I usually say no to Kickstarter 3D printers, the fact that I already did a video on this one, I said, okay, go ahead and send it to me. I haven't seen it. Nobody else has seen it. These 3D printers are still just promises. Now, does that mean that they won't deliver on their promises? No, it doesn't, because, you know, I don't want to say that they can't do a thing. There is nothing more powerful in this world than a determined amateur who thinks that they can do a thing and proving it wrong. While my sensibilities might be that they are making big promises and I'm not sure that they'll be able to deliver on them, they could surprise all of us like the Bamboo Labs already did. But this is a Kickstarter, and this is the biggest sense of a Kickstarter, because they will only be able to make this happen if the Kickstarter is successful, which it is, and now that it's successful, they have to deliver on it. Worst case scenario, I'm guessing people will get a 3D printer. It'll probably be overpriced for the features that it has, but it might be able to do high-speed 3D printing, so they'll get a 3D printer. But will we get the AI modeling? Will we get the 7-color printing? And why are they only selling 5-color printing? I wonder if that's just a miscommunication. I wonder if it actually is 7-color printing. It's like they say the wording is expands 5-color 3D printing, or what's it say? Let me find one right here to read for you. There it is. Tower expands 5-color filament capabilities. Does that mean that it already could do 2-color and it's expanding it to 5-color, or is the 7-color printing coming in the future, or where's the 7-color printing, guys? Nevertheless, I can't say that this is a scam, but I can say that this is a gamble. And don't bet with money that you can't afford to lose. That's just good advice in general. I think the people who back this will get a 3D printer. Will it deliver on all that they think that it will? I don't know. Will it deliver on all that they promise? I hope it will. They are very close to delivering on all those things. That said, they are probably exaggerating some of the claims, especially about speed, and in my opinion, they should probably throttle back on those promises just a little bit. But we'll see. I mean, a 20-minute Benchy is pretty good, and being able to print faster is pretty good. This is something I should absolutely do a video about, 3D printing speed, and how I wish companies would just be, give numbers that are a little bit more useful for telling. Like, how fast can you print a Benchy? Well, I can print a Benchy really fast if I do really chunky layers. How fast can I print a Benchy with this specific set of settings? That's all right. But overall, with the Kokoni Sota, it's up, it's running, and if you back it, they are on the line to deliver. So that's happening, regardless of my opinion. But don't back this if you can't afford to not get what they're promising. But overall, honestly, I'm kind of in their corner. I'm kind of rooting for them. I hope that they deliver on these promises. I'm excited in the world that we're in right now to see people pushing 3D printing forward, and I can't wait to try out their multicolor printing on their 3D printer. I have concerns. I have concerns about purge and things like that, but it's possible. All right, famously, the Bamboo Labs uses a lot of purge. Sorry, one last, I thought I was wrapping it up, but I'm going to just say this. Bamboo Labs creates a lot of purge waste. But the reason why Bamboo Labs creates a lot of purge waste is because instead of unloading the filament, they just cut it off above the heat break, and the next one has to push all of that filament out before they get to it. If Kokoni Sota unloads their filament, they probably don't need to generate as much heat, as much waste, and a purge block might be enough. But a 7-color, heck, a 5-color purge block is going to be fairly large in there, and it's going to eat up a huge part of your table. That said, it would be cool to see, and it would also be cool if we could purge it into an actual, useful object. But that's neither here nor there. So I don't know. I'm tentatively optimistic about this one, but I would say don't back it if this is your first 3D printer. Don't back it if this is a 3D printer that you can't afford to not have all the features that they're promising. There are other options that can produce the features that you want, and so look into them. But overall, it's exciting that they're going out there and they've got until they deliver on this to make good on all of their promises, and I wish them well on it. I look forward to getting my hands on their 3D printer and testing out its speed, and if they can prove the multicolor 3D printing, I can't wait to check that out as well. But that's all my thoughts on this one. I hope that this has been at least educational, if not a little bit entertaining. What do you think about the Kokoni Sota? Do you think that they'll be able to deliver on their promises? Do you think that their promises of speed are a little bit exaggerated? But how big of a deal is that? Let me know in the comments below. I can't wait to hear from you. Remember, you are a child of God, so you're special to me. So take care of yourself, and if you can, someone else too. Thank you so much for watching.